Little spoiler warning for you before we get started. Anything from the books we've already covered can and will be discussed. So that's anything for Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and also The Lost Hero. So that does include spoilers for the Sea of Monsters. So if you haven't done the pre-reading, be warned. Welcome back to Demigod Debut. I'm Mal, forever and always a Clarice apologist and longtime Percy Jackson fan.
And I'm Julie, Percy Jackson newbie and Tyson truther. I refuse to, I know it's like crazy because like we've read the book, but if they actually kill off Tyson in this, I will be boycotting Disney. I will be boycotting the series. I will lose my mind.
Right, because I was watching the end of this episode and I was like, did anyone make it out? Like, that was crazy.
Really? I was like, first of all, not a big fan of like the just like almost mellow music that they're playing all the time. Like, I get it. Like, it's a good juxtaposition. But I'm like, give me some explosion noises or something. Come on.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I feel like it's very cinematic, but it is also, yeah, you're right. It's very mellow.
Yeah. For what's happening in the background.
But I don't know. I'm just like, God, they're leaving us with this on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas. Tyson might be dead.
Merry Christmas.
Oh.
Everyone is dead. Oh my gosh. This entire episode is crazy. I saw a TikTok comment today that was not about this episode. I don't even think it was about Percy Jackson at all, but it was just like a screenshot of a TikTok comment, so who knows what it was actually even about. But the comment was, someone fetch me my bathing toaster. And that's how I feel about this episode. I feel like a lot of my notes are just like me writing down some quote and then some like all caps like, I have to die now. Cause
you know what? I feel it.
Messed up. Yeah. Any opening thoughts from you before we get into an episode that I want to watch 1,000 times and also never watch again?
This was another kind of short one. I was surprised. Like last week, it felt like also it was a little bit like, 30 some minutes?
Yeah.
Or something like that? Yeah. But they managed to pack so much.
Yeah. Once you get rid of the like credits, it's like 32 or 33 minutes. I don't know. Math. Yeah, so very short. Much ground is covered.
This was a good one. I liked it.
This was a good one.
Except for the end.
I can't decide if I like this one or 3 better, but like I think they're just improving as we go. Like it's just...
Yeah.
We're getting so much of the like Luke, Annabeth, Thalia trio, and like I have so many thoughts and feelings about them that... Oh.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
Why does Thalia have a British accent?
Okay, see, I was going to ask if that was lore that you knew, because I had heard that, because the actress is British, I had heard that she was keeping the accent, and I was kind of like, okay, interesting choice, but sure.
Like, presumably she's in the U.S. They're in the U.S. Like, I would presume that she's from the U.S. Why is she... I just thought that was a choice. Maybe her mom was a Brit living in the U.S. and so she grew up with the accent.
I feel like what I read said something about her mom was a British actress and then they moved to LA.
Okay.
And so I have a lot of questions about this. Number one being, how long have they been in LA? Because a lot of times, like, kids who are born somewhere else and then move to a new country, like, lose the accent because your voice is still moldable to a certain extent and pretty much through puberty, I think.
Right.
I know there was a kid who moved to my middle school, and by the end of middle school, he didn't have an accent anymore. So, like, for her to still have this accent...
That's heartbreaking, actually.
No, it is. It really is. And then my other question is, like, the Jason of it all. And, I mean, who knows if they'll ever...
I forgot about Jason. Forgot he was a person in this story.
Yeah, likely thing to happen.
Likely thing to happen.
Yeah. Jason? He also forgot Jason. Yeah. Like, I don't know if they're ever gonna make Heroes of Olympus. It'd be fun if they did, but I don't know that they will. So it's like, was Jason born post them coming to America? What, is he also British?
Yeah, what are the rules here? What are we doing?
The lore implications, like, Jupiter, the Roman form of Zeus is American and Greek Zeus is British. I don't know. There's just much to consider there. I also think not to get ahead of ourselves and talk too much about the flashbacks. It's a little bit comical. Like I can suspend my disbelief, but she does not look 15.
No, she looks 20.
And she is. So I mean, I know when they were either right after they cast her or when they were in the process of casting Thalia, there was all this talk about like needing to find someone who can convincingly be immortal, after season 3, like is not going to change
Mhm.
much in the future, which like I understand. But in these flashbacks, I'm like, that is a grown woman.
Also, full like eyeshadow look going on too.
Yeah, there's a lot of makeup going on. I mean, I know you commented
Yeah.
on Clarice's
Yeah.
red lip last time. Like everyone is serving,
Yeah,
but like
I'm not bashing the look. Like, it looks great, but also I'm like, realistically, you're running for your life here. You're on an important world saving quest here. Why are you beating your face?
can't slay the monsters if you're not slaying.
You know what? Fair. I will let them have this one. I do think it's an interesting artistic choice.
Yeah. Though my favorite artistic choice is the like emo bangs hoodie situation that Luke has going on. Incredible.
Mhm.
Like he doesn't look 14. It's a little bit giving like how do you do fellow kids?
Yes.
But it's like so funny. And I do imagine that that is what he looked like at the time, like full emo bang hoodie, like beanie situation. Like,
He looks ridiculous. He radiates big emo kid energy.
like hanging out with Thalia, who's like punk. Yeah, okay. All right. So I guess we kind of almost start off with a flashback. So I guess we're not really getting too ahead of ourselves, but we do open this episode with Annabeth in the sewers? Question mark? Like this, I think I've talked about it on this podcast before, maybe, but there used to be this like storm drain that me and my brother and our like neighbors would crawl into because there was just like a little tunnel down there and we could like hang out because most of the time it was dry.
Oh my
That's what
god.
this is giving to me. I'm like, where is this? But yeah, in this underground tunnel, Annabeth pulls out like a box of supplies and she finds a very important bracelet on the ground. And so many feelings about this bracelet that comes from a silly little monster donut cereal box. And that's kind of a big change as well, because I don't know if you remember Monster Donut in the book.
I thought they like stumbled upon it in the woods.
Yes. Yeah, it's like a donut chain.
Okay.
And it's tied to the Hydra, and so anytime you cut off the Hydra's head,
Yeah.
it like builds another monster donut. And like it's a very funny little bit about like chain stores. But like since we're not fighting the Hydra, I guess I'm glad that we still kept the monster donut.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also kind of like, okay, now this is just kind of here to be here.
Yeah.
So when Annabeth like finds the bracelet on the ground, that's when she kind of flashes back. I'm all over the place. This episode has really like just fried my brain because what the hell? Um, like Annabeth kind of like flashes back and Luke pulls out the cereal box and whatever, and we get to see baby Annabeth for the first time. I know you were really wanting to see baby Annabeth. What are your thoughts?
Freaking adorable. Like, her little chubby cheeks, I can't get over. She's so cute.
I know. She's so cute. Like when he turned on that lamp and I like saw her little face for the first time, I full on gasped. I was like, oh, she's so cute.
So cute.
And also, I do have to point out that, Thalia's not with them because she's apparently fighting some Cyclopses, I think. And as a Cyclopes hater, Cyclopses truther, the fact that Luke calls them Cyclopses, I feel seen.
Validation.
Vindicated. I do hate that it's Luke, though.
Yeah. Didn't know if we wanted it from Luke, but we got it.
Could it have been someone else? I wish. However, I appreciate getting it. And so it really got me the way that he gives her this bracelet from the cereal box and says that it is a protection bracelet. And Annabeth immediately like clocks like, oh, it's like Thalia's. And Luke says, yeah, it's like Aegis, but this is from Kalogia, goddess of stealth. It's silly, it's precious, it means the world to me. It's so cute. But then also the Luke hater in me is like, Luke's out here lying to kids. Psh, Also, I was today years old when I learned how to pronounce the name of Thalia's shield. Apologies to everyone because I've been saying Aegis for many years. It's apparently Aegis.
Egypt.
Sorry that I was pronouncing all the letters that are there. Why is the A there if you're not going to say it?
Yeah, what the hell?
I don't understand the way that Greek words work. Oh, and then I have a note on the lore implications of British Thalia, but we already talked about that. Yeah, so then we get British Thalia. Great time. And I love that her spear makes a similar noise to Percy's sword when she like pulls it out. I don't think we ever see it like coming from anything, or maybe I missed that little detail, but I know like in the book it comes from a mace container. So I wonder if she's still got that.
Oh.
But it is giving Percy the like little transformation sound, and like all of a sudden she just got a spear. I'm like, ah, parallels.
Mm-hmm.
Then turns out what has found them is not monsters, but Grover.
Grover.
He also does not look young in this, like, because we've seen him young in season 1, and he looks his season 2 age for the most part. And my first thought, upon seeing him is, oh my gosh, Grover, yay! And then my second thought is, oh my god, we're about to have to watch Thalia die.
Jeez.
Because, I mean, Grover was with them a day, a couple days max. Like, I went back to the Sea of Monsters book to see if I could, like, triangulate how long Grover was with them. And Annabeth mentions the night that Grover was leading us back to camp. So that kind of makes me think that it was maybe just one day.
Okay.
So, like, this is all happening in the span of Thalia's last day for now.
No, thank you.
Yeah. But I mean, if Annabeth was with them for a couple of months compared to a couple of weeks, that we also may have lengthened the Grover timeline. It also doesn't really matter, but I don't know. I do know, however, that the way that Thalia looks at Annabeth when Grover mentions camp and like camp being a safe place makes me want to claw my skin off. I just, oh, she wants to protect this baby so bad.
She's a good big sister.
She is, and I'm just thinking about season 1, how Annabeth was like, Luke cared for me right away, but Thalia made me earn it. Like, what did she mean by that? What did she mean? Because Thalia clearly like cares for her so much. Perhaps not more than Luke, but like in seemingly a different way than Luke, because she is very much willing to put her own interest aside for what's best for Annabeth, in a way that Luke is not. So like, I don't know. I want to see them finding Annabeth.
Yeah.
And I feel like it'll happen because we see that moment in book 5, I think. So it might happen like in season 5, but there's also a part of me that's like, I never want to see another flashback again because they hurt.
Yeah, I don't. That's okay. I don't need that. I don't need any more.
This is enough. I've seen enough. This
was too much, actually.
Oh, God, what an episode. I mean, I already said that, but what an episode. And so then we leave our heartbreaking little trio, I guess quartet now that Grover's there, and we get to Tyson and Percy on the beach. Number 1, I don't think I mentioned it last episode, but his like hoodie vest, what a fashion choice. I just thought this was really cute when Tyson's like, oh yeah, I fixed the motor, like it was easy, whatever. And Percy just goes, dude, you're incredible. Like, brothers. Aww. And the way that Tyson is like, Annabeth says you're dangerous and you might destroy Olympus. I don't like her talking about you like that.
He acts almost like a big brother in like that way, but he's like a baby.
Uh-huh. I love him, Your Honor.
So cute.
He survived that boat explosion somehow.
He did. I will not be taking any other option, actually.
Imagine if that's a change they choose to make. Like, nope, Tyson's dead for real.
I will be killing myself.
Yeah. Then also, okay, I wrote down Percy's line where he says, some prophecies don't always mean what you think. Did we need to include both sometimes and always in there? Like, sometimes they don't always mean what you think?
Listen, Percy is not the smartest guy. He doesn't know how many qualifying words he needs.
I don't know, it just made me laugh. It was like, one or the other. Pick one. And then just, like, this whole interaction is like, they're the brothers of all time. But the way that he's like, oh yeah, I learned something else too. And then like gestures to Tyson and goes to whisper into his ear and then just burps in his ear. horrifying, disgusting.
Oh.
Now I'm just imagining, like, all the hell that they put Sally through in this last year, like, living with her.
She's a saint.
She truly is the strongest soldier.
Yes.
The stupid little burp does save their lives because it is at that moment that Clarice blows up their lifeboat. What was she trying to accomplish? Like, she needs Percy to give her the coordinates. Like, why would she blow up a boat that
He's
he's
so messy.
sitting right next to? Ah! Clarice!
Makes no sense. Girl, get it together.
I'm a Clarice apologist, but she doesn't always make the best decisions. And I think that's her right as a 15-year-old girl, but sometimes, Clarice, some things I'm kind of like, girl, I can't apologize for this, and this is one of them. So, also, pretty quickly after Clarice, like, blows up the boat, Annabeth hears it, I guess, in her tunnels and comes running, and she's there pretty quickly. So I'm like, where were these tunnels? Because they're, like, on a beach. I don't understand how these are so close to the beach.
Yeah.
Like, I need a map of this area. Like, where are they all? Like, what's going on?
What are we doing?
And, I also... I wrote down a Clarice line because one of the first things that she says to Annabeth is, "Don't try to lecture me on the rules, smart girl. Tantalus expelled you for deserting camp." And for the first time in my life, I am going to advocate for the use of wise girl because smart girl does not hit the same.
I mean, they're both bad, but smart girl's worse.
And wise girl was Clarice's nickname first. Like, Percy stole it from her. This is also the way that wise girl was intended to be used. Like, it's supposed to be used sort of as an insult, kind of like wise guy.
Right.
But Percy used it in a way that was like too dang sentimental in season 1. Like, this was the perfect moment for a wise girl. Words that I've never said before and will probably never say again. Then Annabeth is like, "We'll give you the coordinates if you let us go with you." Big fan of the way both Percy and Clarice turn to her and go, "What?" Incredible. And Annabeth points out, she's memorized the legends, Tyson can work the ship, Percy's the son of Poseidon. It just makes sense. However, Clarice has her own guys. She starts kind of dropping titles, but I think the thing that we need to remember is that the whole point of her crew is that they're all losers.
Yeah.
Like, she says that Pierre, the first guy, was the naval navigator to Napoleon. And if I'm not mistaken, Napoleon was not necessarily known for his naval victories, right?
Girl, you're asking the wrong person.
You're the one who, when we were in Paris, like, went to go see his grave? What did you go see when we were in Paris?
His tomb.
His tomb, okay.
Well, and the reason I went there is because it's connected to the Resistance Museum.
Oh, so it wasn't about Napoleon at all. Okay.
So I really don't care about Napoleon. I just wanted to see, like, all of the, like, they had, like, all the Resistance memorabilia, and, well, memorabilia is a bad word. I don't know. Like, artifacts and posters and everything up.
That does make sense. Man, I was really hoping that you could teach me about Napoleon, because I really didn't Google that one that hard, because I was like, oh yeah, Julie went to go see his tomb.
And, yeah, no. Just, I was like, well, I was here, I might as well go look at it, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't think that he was particularly good at sea. Because, I mean, from what I found kind of one really famous naval battle, the Battle of Trafalgar. And so it was like part of his planned invasion of the United Kingdom. And it was French and Spain, like, trying to invade. And the British ended up capturing 18 of their ships and didn't lose a single one of their own. So, not great.
Oops.
Yeah. And then the next one, she says Boris,
very Russian name,
had his destroyer sunk in the Battle of Tsushima. This battle was between Russia and Japan, and it was like a very devastating defeat for the Russian Navy. They very greatly outnumbered the Japanese forces and still lost. So
literally just a bunch of losers.
Yeah. And then I also Googled Canthus, who she says is an Argonaut, and he did come up as a real Argonaut, but not one that there was very much information about. And several different myths came up, potentially about different guys. But some accounts say that he died in Libya after he tried to steal some sheep. Others say he died in the Colchian War, which I guess feels more in line with these guys being losers in battle. But point being, I'm like, Clarice is really trying to make these guys seem more impressive than they are, when likely they all just died in really embarrassing battles.
Yeah.
And then we get another parallel that I love. Because Clarice asks, are they going to surrender the coordinates or does she have to take them by force? And Percy goes, force. Single combat. Same way I beat your dad. And like, I'm sorry, they need to learn not to fight the son of Poseidon on the beach.
It's his home turf. Like, it's not gonna go well.
Right. I mean, not that, again, much like the fight on the Princess Andromeda, it's not a great sword performance by him. Like, he's really more of a distraction so that Annabeth can come and kill Clarice's zombie sailors that are taking their jobs. Which is, like, kind of funny, but also, like, kind of ruthless. Like, there's a ruthlessness to Annabeth in this episode that is very interesting and that I kind of like. Also love that Clarice is like shocked. You killed them? And Annabeth's like, well, they were already dead, so not really. Love her. But like, I don't know. This is very interesting because Annabeth cares a lot and has a lot of emotions, but it's pretty much designated only to the people that she really cares about. Like, she doesn't seem to have a lot of empathy for, I mean, at least not these undead guys, but like people who are not like her people, she doesn't have a whole lot of empathy for. I don't know. I think she's just very willing to use people in whatever way she needs to get what she wants. And you kind of see that in like book 1, season 1 with the capture the flag game when she uses Percy to win the game kind of without telling him because she doesn't care about him yet. Like, this kind of feels like the same idea. Like, she doesn't care about these undead soldiers. Like, they're not her undead soldiers. So it's fine. They're kind of expendable. But it's also interesting because I feel like Clarice is pretty similar as well because when Annabeth is like, look, we want the same things. We both want to save Camp. We want to save Grover. Clarice is like, I don't care about the goat. Like, that's not her goat. Why should she care?
But it's Grover.
He actually is not her goat. Someone else brought her to camp. Someone else that you know, actually. But
Oh, really?
yeah.
Huh.
The one other satyr.
I don't remember who that is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you forgot about Jason, we're gonna have to go over the Lost Hero again before we get into the Son of Neptune. Yeah. But Grover's not her goat. Why should she care? She cares about the quest.
Oh my gosh, that's so Republican of her. I just thought about that.
Of
like, not caring, like, I don't, no, Clarice.
Oh. I mean, it's kind of both of them.
Because the thing about, like, a lot of Republicans, if it doesn't affect them or their family, like, they don't care about other people. So I'm like, oh, it's very... This is why I don't like Clarice. She's Republican coded.
But also, so is Annabeth.
Okay, we're ignoring that for her.
Yeah, by that logic, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it's somewhat of a like negative. It's typically seen as like a more negative character trait when like somebody is selfish and somebody is kind of willing to use others for their own means and like doesn't really care about the things that don't affect them. But like it's interesting that obviously we like Annabeth. She's one of our heroes and we're very clearly supposed to also kind of sympathize with Clarice at this point. And I also kind of wonder, can you make the argument that we're villainizing Annabeth a little bit to humanize Clarice a little bit? But I don't know. I like it feels like there's a nuance there that I don't know if I have sat with long enough to like really discuss, but the dynamics are interesting.
I feel like I'm gonna have to like rewatch this episode a couple times to like really, because you only pick up on so much like on your first watch, and so I feel like this is one of those that I might revisit just to kind of delve deeper into.
Yeah, and I mean there's so much in this episode and I'm interested to see how, because I also think like once you have the complete story, when you have the complete season out, things might be different, you know, like you might look at some of the things that happen in a different light, you know. So I don't know, it's also interesting talking about it when like you don't have the complete story.
Yeah.
I love that Annabeth is like, look, it's your quest, we just want to help you finish it. And then kind of looks at Percy, and Percy's like, aye, captain, and like salutes. And then the camera pans back to Clarice, and Tyson is standing behind her, like also saluting. I love him.
He's very cute.
He's so cute. Then we're on the ship, and Percy and Clarice are fighting. And will I get canceled if I say this is kind of what I wish Annabeth and Percy had been doing more of in the first season? Like, just constantly sniping at each other, banter. I don't know, they're just like, "This is so stupid. You're so stupid." I like it. Not that I'm like, um, Percy should be with Clarice because, whoa.
Right, but it's the dynamic, right?
Yeah. Like, I love when there's a little animosity at first before we become friends.
Well, and there was in the books, right?
Yeah, the book did that so much better than the show did,
Mhm.
I think. And that's a piece that I am missing
Yeah.
with these two. Because that's one of my favorite relationship dynamics is like we give each other a hard time, but only I'm allowed to give them a hard time, you know?
Right, right, yeah.
Annabeth and Percy just aren't giving each other enough of a hard time. Like they like each other too much. They're too sweet.
Yeah, what the hell, guys?
I love that side of things too, but I feel like we're missing the animosity.
Like, I want that later.
I want a little bit now. Like I want genuine love and affection a little bit now. And maybe more of that will come because I also like the only thing they really fight about in this book is Tyson, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean they're not really doing that either. So it's kind of like let him fight. Let Annabeth kick his ass a little bit. He likes it. I saw a post somewhere that was like people who say that like Annabeth is toxic because she's so mean to Percy. Like bold of you to assume that Annabeth could ever be mean to Percy because he is right where he wants to be and he is enjoying every second. I'm sort of missing that part of their relationship. Like there's a lot of Percabeth stuff that happens in this episode that like I feel insane about, but like I want them to fight a little more.
Yeah, I get you.
And then when Percy asks Annabeth, "Will you decide who's more stupid?" and then she immediately takes Clarice's side, devastating.
Oof.
Could have been more devastating if she'd been a little bit meaner.
Mhm.
It is a funny bit that Percy cannot pronounce Charybdis because me too, King. It was up until I read the Odyssey in like freshman year English that I learned it was Charybdis. I was reading Carabatus. Oh, actually, no, because I wouldn't have said the CH is just a C sound. So it would have been Charabatus.
I love it.
So
I think they should have went with that.
yeah, I think they should have had him just completely mispronounce it. And then both the girls just look at him like, what is wrong with
Yeah.
you? He's just like, why don't we sail around Scylla in the thing that I know how to pronounce? I also mispronounced Scylla too, so he's doing better than I am because it was fully Scylla. But I mean, I guess that's not that crazy of a pronunciation.
Listen, Greek names are hard, okay?
They are. Can't believe the shield is Aegis. So, Clarice's genius plan, same as the book, is to shoot at Charybdis. But Annabeth says they should do like what Odysseus did and sacrifice 6 men to Scylla so that they can pass through. Again, we're seeing that sort of ruthless side and that like willingness to use people. Or use dead people, I guess, since they're not alive.
I mean, some of them are Confederates, so I'm all on board for that.
I mean, are they?
What do you mean?
I didn't look close enough at the uniforms. I mean, I know in the books they were all Confederates. I mean, I'm sure some of these guys fought for some.
Well, they looked like in the last episode there were a couple like Civil War era looking soldiers.
There might be.
Because one of them had like really long sideburns. Like that was like that 1860s look.
Yeah.
So I think he was definitely a Confederate.
Not great.
But like for sure, take those guys.
And I'm sure some of these guys were fighting for some not so great causes.
Wait, do you think there's Nazis? I just thought about that.
I mean, do I think that there are Nazis that owe tribute to Ares and he could use? Yes. Do I think that they are in this show? No.
But like theoretically, like in the book, he chose Confederate soldiers. So I'm like,
mean,
what's
yeah.
the difference? If
like, could they be? Yeah. But
I don't think Disney's going in that direction, but theoretically they could.
Well, I don't know if you can say that Disney is not going in the Nazi direction. The mouse is never gonna work with us.
The show is not going in that direction. The corporation is a whole other thing.
Yeah, the corporation is making some choices that are a little sus.
I'm sure Walt Disney would love to go in the Nazi direction. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of wild the way that my sympathies like shift around in this episode because I'm like, whoa, Annabeth, kind of whack of you to just be like, let's sacrifice 6 guys. But then she's like, there's really no other choice. Like, this is what Odysseus did. Like, we sort of have to also do this. Like, you got to know when to make a sacrifice. And Clarice being like, I'm not going to do that to them because I promised them Elysium. Like, it's just, I feel for both of them. I really, really do. And then Percy just being like, well, it's the right choice because it's your choice. Boy, if you don't get out of here with. I feel like I'm going to get canceled for not being like, everything about Persebeth in the show is perfect and wonderful and lovely. I feel like part of what makes them so good is that they challenge each other. And I think like he does challenge her in the show in certain ways, but he's also very like, Annabeth is the best, and Annabeth has the best plans, and Annabeth is just so great. Which is like, yeah, that's what she deserves, but also she needs someone to call her out, like when she's being a little too much. But also, like, Annabeth is right here. Like, this is the best way forward. So it's like, I don't know what I'm wanting. I'm just like, again, I think we probably need to sit with this episode more because it's just like so much is going on.
Yeah. I feel like we should have a whole rewatch, like, once all of the episodes are out. Like,
Yeah. We can decide more later because we are also going to be taking a very extended break after this because I am tired.
yes.
So then we get flashback number 2, and Grover has taken them to a satyr hideout. And he's telling them about nature spirits like satyrs, nymphs, naiads, dryads, hippocampi. And Thalia said, you're just making up names now.
Rainbow!
Uh-huh. We do get a hippocampi mention, and watching this, I was like, hippocampi mention. And then hippocampi sighting later, but it is truly devastating that, Thalia and Luke and Annabeth have only really ever known the negatives of this world and never the fun stuff,
Yeah.
I do think it is hilarious that Luke calls it cult half-blood. I think it's
Yeah, that was good.
incredibly funny. It's also kind of a read because it is a little cult adjacent, I cannot lie. And Thalia says, Luke and your camp have history. And I assume that this is about his mom trying to become the Oracle, because that would, I assume, be his only interaction with camp. But I don't know, in the book, I never got the vibe that he really blamed camp for that. Like, more that he blamed his dad? I don't know. I never even really thought that Book Luke knew about camp until Hermes comes to him in that like vision that Prometheus shows Percy in the 5th book, where
Mm,
Hermes like tells him he'll talk to Chiron at camp and like they should go to camp and Luke will have a chance to be a hero before ... I don't know. It's interesting to see Luke with this very negative opinion of camp already.
yeah.
It sort of makes me wonder, is the show going to make Luke older when what happens to his mom happens? Like, is he going to be old enough to remember it for maximum devastation? Like, is he going to be able to remember a before with his mom and then really be able to see how, like, the gods
Yeah.
destroy her? Like,
I think that would be really interesting, like, to kind of almost make him a bit more of a sympathetic, like, villain, you know?
uh huh.
If he can, like, clearly, like, remember the downfall of his mother, like, I think that would be a really
Yeah.
interesting kind of shift from a little bit how he's portrayed in the book.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it could be really interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with that.
I am very excited to see more of Luke's backstory because I think there's a lot there, and I think this not being from Percy's point of view entirely, like we can get more of it. We can see more baby Luke scenes,
Yeah, I almost feel a little bit hypocritical saying like I would love to see like seeing more of like why Luke became the villain, like why he acts like he does, and my hatred for
Hmm.
Clarice. Like why does she like I don't care that she acts like whatever. I don't know. But yeah, maybe I'd be interested to actually kind of see more of like Clarice's backstory too. I don't know if it would change my mind on her because she doesn't have quite the because Luke, I feel like, does have. I know we've argued about this before when we read the final book about his kind of final redemption.
Yes.
But I feel like Clarice doesn't quite have that yet. Now maybe she'll get it, but I haven't seen it yet, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm very interested in the direction that we are taking both
Mhm.
of them,
I
actually.
think it makes more interesting when you can see why why a villain acts like that way.
Yeah, why they are who they are.
Yeah.
Cuz yeah, I mean, I think Luke becomes less of a cartoonified evil guy in the 5th book when you start to see the scenes of his family. And so I feel like I already feel like the show is doing so much more to humanize him.
Yeah, because I mean, the books we only really do get Percy's point of view. So, like, with the show, obviously, it's more difficult to only have like one point of view when you're filming a TV show.
Yeah.
But this really does kind of make me a bit more sympathetic to him. Like especially when we get the flashback scenes.
Oh no. Are we going to be Luke apologists?
No, maybe.
They would have to make some major changes to season 3 because the thing that I always point to is him manipulating her into taking the sky from him. And if they keep that,
It's over.
he's
Yeah.
toast. It's over.
We'll see, I guess.
Also, the Grover of it all, the way that, Thalia insists that they're fine on their own, and Grover points out that there's just going to be more and more monsters. And, like, is that the life that you want for her?
Oh,
Gestures to Annabeth. He has absolutely clocked which of them he can get through to at this point. Like, I love that they're showing us more of Show Grover just like being very in tune with people
mm-hmm.
and being able to, for lack of a better word, manipulate situations and like get people to do what he wants and like give him information. Like we saw it with Ares last season. I think we kind of see it with Thalia here. Like he doesn't even try to convince Luke that camp is the right thing. He tries to convince Thalia because he has clocked that she cares about this little girl and she is willing to put her needs ahead of her own, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, Annabeth is the button that I need to push to get Thalia to agree. And if I can get Thalia to agree, then Luke will probably also agree. And so, like, it's an incredible read on the situation. And I love that we are getting this side of Grover because Grover's kind of useless in the books.
You know what? All right.
We love him,
Yeah.
but name one situation through this point in the book that has been made better because Grover was there.
All right. Okay.
Other than the friendship and the moral support, you know?
The real adventures of friends we made along the way. Oh.
Right, no, exactly. And so, we end this flashback with the reveal that Annabeth has lost the bracelet, obviously, because we know that it was left in the weird sewer tunnels. Very devastating. She does not have Cologia's charm. Is that what she was saying? Cologia? Cologia? Is it
I
Cologia?
think
Cologia?
I don't remember.
Man, it's hard to talk about something when I haven't already watched it 37 times.
Right? Like, in our defense, people, like, this is our first viewing of it. Like, we're trying to get these out for you, so we don't have time to dissect. We also have lives.
I mean, I always watch them at least twice, once for pleasure, once for business. And then the business viewing is typically a lot slower. But still, 2 viewings is
And
not
we
enough.
know damn well I'm watching these once. I'm watching these once, like 2 hours before we record the episode. Let's be honest with ourselves.
And that's valid.
You know what? I'm the unprepared one. That's why this works.
And then, in a move that is very Rose from Titanic, Annabeth throws the bracelet into the sea. We've gotten the whole backstory, and now the precious jewel is being thrown into the sea. Then something puts the bracelet back on the ship deck. And at first I was like, whoa, that's kind of creepy. Like, then I was like, did Poseidon put that there? Like, what happened? More on that later, dear listener. You've seen the episode, probably. And then we get a little Tyson Percy moment, which is adorable. And Tyson said, I've never been on a boat before Monday. Now I've been on 4. And I would just like to thank Tyson for the boat count. Because this made me do my own boat count. And so in the book, the grand boat total is 3 by this point, because we did not have Rainboat to take them to the Princess Andromeda. In the book, we had Rainbow, the hippocampus.
Oh, yes.
So we have one more boat at this point, but then we had the Rainbow boat, Rainboat. We had the Princess Andromeda. We had the Princess Andromeda lifeboat. Now we have Clarice's ship. And then in the book, after this point, we also get the CSS Birmingham lifeboat, and then we get the Queen Anne's Revenge Blackbeard ship that they steal from Cersei's Island. So, in the book, we have a grand total of 5 boats. So, there are only 2 more boats ahead of them from this point in the book. Does not seem like we are getting lifeboats off of this ship, just based on the ending. So, I think we will have whatever boat that they steal from Cersei's Island, and that might be our last boat. So, we may end up with like another 5 total boats in the show and in the book. So, this has been Boat Count with Tyson and Mal, signing off. But it does make me wonder about the survival of all of them. And I kind of wonder if...
I do not want to think about it. I'm worried.
Well, I was kind of wondering if the Rainbow viewing is sort of to foreshadow, because I mean, Rainbow is what picks Tyson up after the CSS Birmingham explodes.
Mhm.
Tyson then spends the rest of the time trying to find Percy and Annabeth with Rainbow. So I wonder if they are all going to be saved by Hippocampi, or if it's just Tyson again. Like, I feel like at the very least this is foreshadowing that like Tyson and Rainbow are going to become friends. Thank God.
Mhm. You're desperate for a rainbow sighting.
Yes. Desperate. I wonder, not to get ahead of myself with like predictions for next time, but I wonder if we're just going to see Percy and Annabeth in the beginning of episode 5 like wash up on Cersei's Island with no idea how they got there, no idea what happened to Clarice, what happened to Tyson. Like, or maybe, Percy gets them there with his water powers. I don't know. I'm so interested to know where we're going with this. I mean, like, episode 5 has been my most anticipated episode. I mean, I thought it was going to be episode 5 and episode 6 because I thought Cersei and the Sirens were going to be separate episodes, but now that they're both in the same episode, I'm like gnawing at the bars of my enclosure, like ready for next week. I feel crazy. I feel very normal about Percy Jackson. We also get Percy's nautical navigation for the first time here. He somehow knows that they're moving at 23 knots. They are at 36 degrees 44 minutes north. These are the same coordinates that he gives to Annabeth in the book when he does this same thing, which I thought was a fun little detail. And I wish I knew more about coordinates to really know, like, what this means. I don't understand sailing.
Me either.
I do, however, kind of wish that Annabeth was a part of this conversation to tell him that this is really cool, because I just love that he's like, whoa, I have perfect bearings at sea. And she's like, that's so cool. And Percy's like, I don't know about that. Like, I just think it's funny. And it is a little sad that Tyson's like, oh, it's supposed to be because of Dad. Wonder why I can't do it.
Aw, Tyson.
My poor baby. But, like, why doesn't Tyson have cool water powers?
Yeah, what the hell?
And then when he's like, well, if we're really going that fast, I gotta go check on the engines. And then he, like, walks off, and the way that he walks off is, like, kind of silly, I think. It gives me a little giggle. And then Percy stands there, and he's like, thanks, Dad. Which is kind of silly, but also, I'm sure Poseidon appreciates hearing from him. And so instead of, like, going to check on the engines, Tyson is standing on the deck holding Annabeth's bracelet, which she then walks up and finds. And as she walks up, she says there's foam in the boiler tanks. And so I don't know what that means, but I did try to Google it, and I don't know enough about engines or boilers, or I don't understand. I don't know really what this means, because everything that was coming up was like, oh yeah, if there's foam, it's probably because there's like too many like dissolved things in your water, and like you should try to use better water. And I was like, well, if you're at sea, like you're kind of at the mercy of the ocean, I would assume. I don't know how a boiler works. All that to say, I don't know what Annabeth is talking about, but Tyson has been playing with Rainbow the Hippocampus! And he specifically says, "Oh, I'm just playing with Rainbow." Incredible. I'm just thinking about Tyson, a Cyclops, having this bracelet, that Annabeth has just thrown into the sea. And this is a bracelet that has a bad history with Cyclops for her specifically. Rainbow and Tyson have no idea the trauma that they are inflicting on Annabeth with this right now.
Yeah.
But I'm just like thinking about her walking up on this and being like, so a Cyclops has the bracelet that I threw into the sea somehow. How did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
But they're just playing fetch. So then we get kind of flashback number 3, and this one is pretty short. It's Annabeth going off on her own to go and get the bracelet because it was important. And as she goes, she is captured by 3 Cyclops.
I don't like these guys.
I don't like these guys either. I'm like, leave that little girl alone.
Yes.
It's creepy. And then we sort of like go back and forth between flashbacks and in what's the word for like things that are happening right now in this moment. We go back and forth between flashbacks and like real time situations.
Mm-hmm.
We get kind of an Annabeth Percy heart to heart. She tells him that they're gonna lose. It's just a matter of how bad. And she talks about how the last time that she was at this hideout, she went back for something she thought was important, and it put everybody in danger. This is the moment that I clocked that, like, oh, great. So now we're just giving Annabeth a reason to blame herself for what happened to Thalia. Cool. Stop putting my girl in situations. And so then, we get Thalia smashing through the window like an action hero. This was in the, like, next week on Percy Jackson, like, preview thing last week. So fun to see it in context. And the awe on Annabeth's face, baby Annabeth, as she watches Thalia fight, is so cute. I have so many feelings about them. This episode! And then we go back to, like, real time, and Percy sits down and goes, so, you messed up. And it's really giving that one Captain America, like, so, you got detention meme. And here come some of the quotes that I just kind of wrote down and then wrote variations of, like, it's time for me to die. So the first quote that I have written down is Annabeth says that my dumb decision led to Thalia's fatal one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, I'm launching myself into the Hudson. It wasn't your fault. She was probably gonna die anyway. Just, why are we making Annabeth blame herself for Thalia, but also do it more because I love angst? And so Thalia agrees to take Annabeth to camp and says, and I quote, we're family now, and if this camp is the safest place for you, then that's where our family's going, even if we don't like it. And she also says, if anyone tries to hurt this little girl, they'll have me to answer to. And then the fact that Thalia's spirit is the very thing that keeps her safe at camp for the next 6 years, like quite literally making it so that any monster who wants to get into camp and mess with that little girl, they have to answer to her. I want to throw up. I was watching this and I was like, fantastic, give me 37 more. Also, I can't do this anymore. Like, very complicated feelings are happening for me while watching this, because I'm just like, I love them so much and I want the best for them. And I just, but also I love drama and I love angst. Like, there's a war going on inside of me right now. I'm vibrating. Yeah. Then Annabeth has to take, her experience with Thalia and flip it around, make it about Percy, and is like, according to the great prophecy, you're a weapon just like she was. She says, and I quote, and this was in, I think, the trailer or in a clip that they released, I don't know, but, like, I heard this line before, but, like, also in context, it hurts real good. She says, I want to believe that if I can just think 6 steps ahead, I can save you. But it's never going to be the big impossible choice I have to outthink. It's all the million little choices I can't see. The human choices. And it's crazy that that's the whole freaking point. It's the human choices that make the difference in the end. It's their little tiny broken family that, someone fetch me my bathing toaster. Like, it's, Is this what you signed up for when you started this podcast?
Honestly, I had no idea what to expect. It's been a ride.
You know I'm normal about the things that I enjoy.
Absolutely.
It also made me laugh a little bit that Annabeth says that, Thalia sacrificed herself for a kid she barely knew. She's like, she knew me for less than 2 months. Like, how could she sacrifice herself for me? And Percy pretty much is like, well, I tried to sacrifice myself for you after like knowing you for 2 days. So really, Thalia should have been quicker with it.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, he did. Like, they did not know each other for very long before he was trying to sacrifice himself for her on the arch, and then sacrifice himself for her in the Golden Throne. And, like, stop trying to sacrifice yourself for her. Like, these children of the Big Three trying to sacrifice themselves for Annabeth should be studied.
They're passionate people.
Actually, that's what this podcast is. We are studying the children of the Big Three who want to sacrifice themselves for Annabeth. Him looking at her and being like, it only took me 2 days to see how special you are. It was in that moment that I was like, my God, no wonder she fell in love with him. Like, then his whole little speech here is just so precious and so cute. That, like, maybe we can't outsmart fate. Maybe all we can do is just the right thing and hope for the best. And that my track record at surviving impossible odds is pretty good thanks to you, so let's go do the impossible. Oh. Also, when he helps her up, they hold hands for way longer than necessary. Just need to point that out. By the way. And then we go back to Clarice, and she's explaining kind of the situation to her crew. And she explains it as the trial of choice, a rock in a hard place, the trial of will, the siren's song, and finally Polyphemus. And, we do all those things, but we also do Cersei in the middle there, and that's not mentioned. And all of her men volunteer to be the ones to man the deck, aka be the ones sacrificed. Kind of makes me wonder, do they know that this is a suicide mission? I mean, I guess probably none of these guys were traveling with Odysseus, because I'm pretty sure like all of Odysseus's men get killed in various ways. Like, I suppose they could also owe a debt to Ares. I don't know. Because that's the thing. We're sort of combining Odysseus and Jason here. Because it's the quest for the Golden Fleece, but then it's also we're doing a lot of stuff from the Odyssey. So, like, it's both.
Yeah.
Anyway, the sort of main guy, I believe his name is Carrington, says, for victory and Elysium, we would follow you anywhere, Captain. I kind of love them. I kind of love this little, like, zombie found family that Clarice has on this ship. Like, I don't know why, but these funky little guys have captivated me. And I feel like the season is going to have to end with the confirmation that all of these guys got Elysium, or this is going to be another reason for me to hate the gods.
Yeah.
And then we get a lovely Percy Clarice heart to heart. Like, the last bit of this episode is mostly just, like, little duet scenes. Like, you get Percy and Tyson, then you get Percy and Annabeth, then you get Percy and Clarice. Like, and you also get a little Annabeth Tyson in there. Like, I think the only ones that don't get a solo scene are Tyson and Clarice, but And I guess Annabeth and Clarice don't have a very long solo scene. Anyway. So, our Percy Clarice heart to heart. I do kind of love this. I love how Percy kind of walks in and spots her and kind of looks around for a way out, but then eventually, like, goes in to talk to her. Relatable.
I guess I gotta do this.
Turns out, it seems like he has gone in there to make a sandwich. And so he's, like, making the sandwich and he offers her half, like, bro, just make 2 sandwiches.
Yeah.
And, she asked about his quest last year, and he says he wouldn't have survived it without his friends, and then asks why she doesn't have any friends. And she says, she got what she needed from Ares and didn't need friends. Still no information on what happened here. Like, I'm dying to know what happened with Chris. I mean, I feel like we're going to see him at the end on the Princess Andromeda.
Yeah.
And we're going to get more of a glimpse as to what happened between them. Like, I'm thinking back to, like, episode 8 of season 1, where you had sort of the flashback of Luke trading Percy to sword fight kind of as he was fighting Ares. So, like, I feel like we might get a flashback to, like, what happened between Clarice and Chris, possibly, when it's relevant. Like, I don't know. I'm dying to know. Percy also says, your dad must be pretty tough to have as a dad, I say, having been body slammed by him. What a thing to say. I also, the little bit of Clarice lore we get does unlock some things about her for me. Like, the way that she says that she doesn't go home at the end of summer. Like, camp is her home. So this quest to save camp is about more than just trying to impress her dad. Like, it really is about saving her home.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just the confirmation that Clarice actually cares is important to me. And I love that Percy tells her that, she wouldn't have been granted this quest if she didn't have it in her to finish it. Like, honestly, he should be a motivational speaker or something because like he is crushing it in this interaction. And he asks her what the oracle told her because prophecies suck and it's like they were made to scare you. And she goes, "It doesn't scare me." And he's like, "Didn't think it would." Incredible. And she tells him the whole thing. This is earlier than we get the whole thing in the book. So, we get the bit we've already gotten. You shall sell the iron ship with warriors or bone. You shall find what you seek and make it your own, but to spare for your life entombed within stone. And then we get the final line, and fail without friends to fly home alone. And Percy says, yeah, it's not so bad. I do enjoy having this information this early, but also I hope that Percy still figures it out and decides to put Clarice on an airplane with the fleece because I feel like that is a big character thing for him. The fact that he gives her that chance, to take the fleece and finish the quest. Like he is willing to step aside and like let her finish the job.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it also, in a way, foreshadows what he has to do later with Luke. Like he has to step aside and let Luke finish the job, And so Mitch from Blockbuster comes and tells us that it's time to go. I do love Mitch from Blockbuster. I don't love that he's one of the guys that gets put out on the deck as bait. Boo. And as she leaves, Clarice does tell Percy that they're not friends. And this does fit nicely into by the end of the series, Percy and Clarice are actually friends who still pretend to have beef kind of for the bit because it's how they show their love. Like, that's my agenda, and this does fit nicely into that. And this is also around the point in the episode where I was like, ugh, I miss Tyson. We haven't gotten very much Tyson in this one.
I know. Where's my boy?
Yeah. And it kind of sucks that we don't get very much of him in this episode, like, where we're about to lose him.
And who knows how long it'll be until we get more of him.
Fingers crossed we get Tyson in episode 6, because episode 6 is called Nobody Gets the Fleece. So I would assume he's gonna roll up. Yeah, episode 6 is Nobody Gets the Fleece.
Okay.
Which, I mean, actually means we might not see Tyson, because I can't remember the exact timeline of what happens, but we could have episode 6. I don't know that we need to do predictions for episode 6 right now, but because like things start to go awry with their plan to have Annabeth invisible talking to Polyphemus as nobody, like we could just have the plan go awry and then Tyson could be revealed in episode 7. I don't know, interested to see where it goes. Anyway, so Clarice, Percy, and Annabeth are all standing there manning the big wheel, as all ships have a big wheel. And Clarice watches 3 of her men get taken and then says, nope, and then blows everything up, as in she blows up their whole plan. And so she starts to steal them towards the thing that Percy knows how to pronounce, Charybdis, instead. But then, as you watch this scene sort of play out, her guys are still getting taken by Scylla, but like now we're in range of Charybdis, so we're having to deal with both. It's just, you didn't think this through. And gotta say, Charybdis looks very cool, but how do you even fight something like that? Like, Clarice is just shooting at water.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if you remember this, but in the book, Charybdis had braces on, like, her teeth sticking out of the water.
I did not remember that.
Like, I just think that's a very funny detail, and I think of it often. Like, remember how Rick Riordan gave Charybdis braces? And so, Percy's gonna control the current. Annabeth goes to get the thermos to control the winds. And Percy, like, making his way to the bow of this ship and then, like, standing there dramatically. It's so epic and it's so heroic. And it's really too bad that they just, like, crash and burn immediately.
Yeah.
I do think it's kind of funny that we get the little tiny scene of Tyson in the engine room just to, like, show us where Tyson is and remind us that he's still there on the ship. Because there's really no need for Percy to, like, yell at him and be like, more power! Like, it's really just to remind us that Tyson is there.
Yeah.
Also, this would be kind of funny, but it's also kind of not. There's like a circular, it's not a manhole, but it's like a manhole cover. There's like a little cover thing that flies off and like hits one of the undead guys and like knocks him off the ship. Then Annabeth, uses that newly opened hole straight into the engine room to accidentally drop the thermos into, which then opens all the way, So I think the episode should be called Annabeth Blows Up Everything, because she is the one who literally accidentally, I can't blame her too much, releases the winds into this ship.
Yeah.
So, hey, another thing that she can blame herself for. She also then almost falls off the deck. Like, Annabeth is always hanging off of something.
Oh, get it together.
If there is a cliff, she's fallen off of it. If there's a boat, she's fallen off of it. Like, stop falling off of things, Annabeth. And so, on the first watch, I feel like I was more horrified, like, watching the ship just get obliterated, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
On the rewatch, it was a little funnier because the way that they're just, like, staring at each other as this happens, because it's like, what do you do in that situation? It's a little comical. It's also a little comical that, like, when the winds, like, start to blow, I mean, it makes, like, a weird twister thing, but, like, when the, like, twister thing kind of starts, Annabeth and Clarice both get, like, blown away. Clarice gets blown away entirely. Annabeth manages to hang on. And, like, when they show the ship from a distance, you see Annabeth, like, just hanging on with her feet in the air. Kind of funny if you want to see the humor in it. Also, like, Clarice just blowing away it's a little funny. It's a little funny. And so, yeah, the boat, like, disintegrates, and like you said, you have the mellow music as this happens, and it's very cinematic and very dramatic. And the last shot of the episode is just Percy squeezing his eyes shut.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Disney, you will be hearing from my lawyers. What about my boy Tyson? I need to know.
Like, you're doing this to my family on Christmas, Disney? It's Christmas. How can I be expected to participate in holiday festivities when this is where you have left me? Ugh. You know I love angst, but oh boy, what an episode.
Yeah, this was a doozy.
Ugh.
It was good though.
I mean, it was so good. It was so good. I liked this one a lot, but I also never want to watch it again. But also, I want to watch it a million more times. So it's like,
I feel like this is one I might rewatch just to pick up on, like, the little things.
There's just so much happening. It's wild. I feel like we have to talk a little bit about the next week on, because, like I said, episode 5 is my, like, most anticipated episode.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, I'm a little surprised with how much of Cersei's Island they've shown us, which is, like, not a lot, but the way that they kept, like, Grover's wedding dress under lock and key and, like, did not show that until it was shown in the show, I'm surprised how much they're showing us of, like, their Cersei's Island outfits.
Yeah.
Because, like, it was in a clip on Instagram last week. It's in the, like, next week on. Like, I don't know. It's odd to me. Like, I didn't expect them to reveal that so early. I thought they were going to be a little more
tight-lipped.
Yeah. I also think, I mean, there's the guinea pig, which is kind of if you know, you know. Like, non-book readers aren't going to be like, oh, is that guinea pig Percy? But it's also funny that, like, they keep showing us this, like, random guinea pig.
I'm interested to see how they do that.
Yeah, I'm also very interested to see how they do it. I mean, it seems like she's blowing some, like, magical dust onto him and he transforms. I'm so interested in this episode. There's also, like, in the clip that they released last week, there's also a very split-second image of, like, Percy grabbing Annabeth and, like, dragging her into the water, seemingly post-sirens. So, can't wait for that. What a way to end 2025 and start 2026. I gotta say, that episode, gonna be wild.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we will see you next year. Crazy. We will be back on New Year's Day with our thoughts on episode 5. Cannot wait. I'm sure that I will have many things to say, and buckle up.
See you guys in 2026.
2026. That's not a real year. We started this podcast in 2024, by the way, so
See?
Going into our 3rd number year. We're about to turn 2. Our podcast is a toddler. That's crazy. Catch you next time. Hi, thanks for listening. As always, you can find us on whatever social media platform you prefer at DemigodDebutPod, or feel free to send us an email to demigoddebut@gmail.com. If you like this podcast, please leave us a rating and review wherever it is you are listening. We'll see you next time. Bye!